KDB.
Beats Planet.
Yo, Chad, we need you. we need you. Man, you know, normally, bro, I hop out the bed, turn my swag on, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm talking about? And, you know, my volume guys hit me up. They say, yo, Voch, what we talking about today so we can set your live stream up? And I go, shit, Monday through Thursday, this is what we doing. I do it with confidence, and I push the shit out the send button. You know what I'm saying? Man, it's the end of March, and this is the time, right? This little sweet spot where, for the most part, everybody's done most of their research. Everybody's got all the opinions that they think they're going to have, right? And free agencies kind of died down a little bit, so now we signing guys for $38. You know the $38 crew will still. Them dudes will come through, you know, just whenever, right? You know, between now and the end of the draft. But, boy, when I tell you we ain't got much to say, Whew. But we gonna get it done, man. We gonna get it done. Because we are content kings, man. And content king just ain't something that you say you are, it's something that you gotta be. You know, Will Steele. So this is what we're gonna do today. Mind you, I'm still Voch Lombardi with the same drop. I ain't changing it. I love it. VOCHLOMBARDI. I gotta find Will Steele a new one, but this Master William here. Big Willie.
That's enough damn salt there, Willie.
No more Big Willie, my game is grown. Prefer you call me William.
Yes, sir. It was good.
See, now I'm motivated. You know what I mean? Now I'm motivated. You know what I mean? Like, man, he gonna get the same ass sound dropping. He gonna like it. And you know what I'm saying? Then you come up here with yours, and now I gotta find a way to
That's enough goddamn salt there, Willie.
What's good with you, brother?
I'm good, fam. Just ready to talk some ball.
Yeah, man. Roundtable was fun, man. Roundtable was fun. You know, I always enjoy doing it, man. You know, we can't do them all the time, you know, because y'all miss regular shows of the volume. So I know y'all gonna miss Roundtable. And it's hard getting everybody together. But boy, when we come together, y'all just put on y'all Sunday best. Y'all walk down the red carpet and y'all come watch the Roundtable, man. So I just want to say thank y'all for that. All right. Now today, similar to the Roundtable, is going to be centered around arguments that I've seen online. Like I did say, my volume guys hit me up this morning. They was like, yo, Voch, what we going to talk about? And I sincerely didn't know. But as I was just sitting at Dojo after my workout at Dojo, I was just trying to figure out what we're going to do. I was on the social medias. And what I noticed, Will Steele, is that people still fighting over the 26th overall pick like we drafted first overall. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you drafting in the top 8 or something, right? Let's just say top 6, top 10, right? I think that's when position value really matters. I think that's when micro analyzing guys really matters, right? So you may look at Nolan Smith and, hey, Nolan Smith is my perfect prospect, but he's 220 pounds, so I can't take him right here, right? That makes sense when you're evaluating for a top 10 team. But man, when you at 26, bro, when you at 26, you can poke a hole about any player that you may get, no matter what position. I also feel like position value kind of goes out the window when you get further towards the end of the rounds, right? People talking about Bijan Robinson. I've made this joke many times, but it stands. People talking about Bijan like he play kicker or something. You know, at some point, position value got to go out the window, and you got to acknowledge the actual player that you get. If we talking about Bijan Robinson versus Jalen Carter, they both top 5 talents in this draft, Will Steele, but D-line serves you a bigger purpose than running back does. That makes sense. If you want to do Will Anderson versus Bijan Robinson, that makes sense because edge is a money 5, right? So that value may serve you a little different. But man, when you get further down the list, Will Steele, and you get like Bijan Robinson versus Osiris Torrance, I be wanting to smack the shit out of people on Twitter, man. They be talking about, hey, man, I don't know, bro. I need to fix my offensive line. I'm taking Osiris Torrance. And that sound cool, man. And look, don't get me wrong. Osiris Torrance is going to be a good player in the league, and he's going to be a fine, cool starting guard for you. But boy, Bijan going to be tearing shit up over there for one pick less than you just took this dude, Osiris Torrance. I do think there's a bit of overthinking that comes with this thing. I understand the whole running back positional value, but you have to make concessions when these dudes are special, or they're better than just good. They're great, or they do things in the passing game. Michael Lombardi said, okay, well, you don't take runners that high. You don't pay runners, but these dudes are weapons. So we talk about some of these backs. We're going to talk about them today. When we talk about some of these backs, their talent qualifies them to be first-round players. But sometimes people overthink, right? Some of these other players that I think are first-round players, but their positions, like one tech, Will Steele, like tight end, like running back, people will overqualify some of that. Oh, you play this position, I'm not taking you in the first round. I saw this one tweet, Will Steele. It was so fantastic. They was like, basically, I'll just say this like Voch said, y'all hoes not taking somebody 28th overall, but you would take them 33rd overall. You overthinking this shit.
Yeah.
You're overthinking it too much, or 32nd overall for this year. You're overthinking this. So Voch wanted to come up with this exercise, and I just wanted to type in a couple players' names on my social media machines. Twitter is what we use mostly here. And I just wanted to see some conflicting dialogue about players that may be first-round guys, that may be early second-round guys. And chat, we're going to use y'all today, boy. Let me open up this chat box, and I want to get some of y'all thoughts. Me and Master William going to have this conversation also about some of these players that are teetering the second round and the first round. But I want to know, do y'all think these players are first round picks? As I take a sip of water, Will Steele, do you like have you kind of been seeing that? What's your idea on that, Will Steele, when you see people talking about Bijan Robinson 21st overall, but they don't want to take him because he's a running back, or they may see a one tech, or they may see a tight end or something, they don't like that. What you think, Will?
Me personally, I'm comfortable. You know, if Bijan is a pick for somebody in the 20s or whatnot, this is not pick 4, 5, 3, 2. You know, Saquon went, I think, second.
Yeah.
Overall, right? We're talking about pick 26, pick 27, pick 28, whichever team were to get him in the 20s. So I think that's a comfortable spot because you're talking about a second round grade for most of the people anyway. But look, if a team decides to pass on him, I get it because of the value. But the kid is really damn good, man. And that's what you want, right? You want to get a baller at 26. If a baller falls to you at 26 or 27 or 28, and it just happens to be at a position that doesn't have the money 5 attached to it, I think that's okay.
Sure. DJ asked a good question in the chat, and boy, chat, like I say, we need you today. DJ said, would you take Bijan at 15? Well, it depends who's on the board, right? Like, would I take if it's Bijan versus Nolan Smith from Georgia, edge rusher, I'm taking the edge guy. If it's Bijan versus Skoronski or something, I don't like Skoronski like that, bro. So I'm taking Bijan. If it's Bijan versus Christian Gonzalez, right? If you truly feel like Christian Gonzalez is a lockdown corner that can take away wide receiver ones, you take Christian Gonzalez. He's a money 5 guy. Will Steele, have you watched any quarterbacks this year besides like the top 3 guys? Have you seen Hendon Hooker?
I'm about to say I saw your tweet on Hendon Hooker when the Cowboys got I want to say attached, but it was something a couple weeks ago. The Cowboys were meeting with Hendon Hooker. That was a big thing. So I decided to dive in on Hendon Hooker, and I was like, man, this was before I guess he picked up steam. Remember we did the mock draft, and all of a sudden, Hendon Hooker was at 24 or whatever to Minnesota. I was like, man, I'd love to have Hendon Hooker in the 4th round. Yeah, it'd be great. He ain't making it to no goddamn 4th round.
He can make the 4th round. And Will Steele, a lot of this comes down to the Illuminati, man. NFL Illuminati. Sometimes those guys make people dictate whether guys are like first round picks or not. Me personally, Michael Mayer, I think he's a fantastic tight end. I don't think he's first round dude. Honestly, Will Steele. I think he's a straight up and down, balanced, cool tight end that can be good if your quarterback is good, right? If he goes to what's the team with a bad quarterback right now? So like Aaron Rodgers he's not with the Jets right now, right? So Will Steele, let's say Michael Mayer goes to the Jets and Zach Wilson is his quarterback. I don't expect big things from Michael Mayer, right? But if the Jets get Aaron Rodgers and Michael Mayer is that first tight end, now we go, whoa, hey, you see what I'm saying? I do think a lot of the tight end is based on what your quarterback is, unless you're a Kyle Pitts type of guy, Kincaid, kind of character or whatever. So I see guys, go for Mayer. Mayer's the best, most balanced, tight end in this class, boom, boom, boom. But man, I just don't see it like that. But there's a lot of people that love Michael Mayer. So then I can ask people the same question. Hey, would you take Bijan Robinson over Michael Mayer? Chat, Bijan or Michael Mayer? A lot of this ain't no conversation.
That right? Shouldn't be a conversation.
A lot of it's not a conversation. But there are mocks, Will Steele. There are mock drafts that got Michael Mayer as a top 15 pick, Will Steele. Dalton Kincaid is a top 15 pick, Will Steele. Musgrave. People like Musgrave as a top 20 some odd.
Yeah, I'm starting to see him coming to first. I'm like, wow.
I don't know where the fuck Musgrave came from. I don't know where Musgrave came from. But they still got Bijan to the Bills or something. And I go, man, y'all overthinking this. DJ say Phil Collins face. Like what? Y'all overthinking this, Will Steele. But anyway, I think everybody should be in consensus that Bijan Robinson, it should be a first round player. Chad, let me ask you this. Is Bijan Robinson a top 15 pick for you? Is Bijan Robinson a top 15 pick for you? And then we're gonna come back to that. Master William, let me ask you this, right? Since we're on running backs. I actually went back to go watch a lot of Gibbs. Jahmyr Gibbs, running back from Alabama. Boy, is he a fun player.
Yeah.
Boy, why do I say black flips? Boy, why do back flips if that dude ends up on my team? Let me ask you this. Do you think Jahmyr Gibbs is a bell cow running back in the National Football League?
I don't believe in bell cow anymore. I think it should be extinct. So I don't believe anyone should be a bell cow. Now, obviously, you have your exceptions, right? But I think it should be dying out as opposed to adding more of those guys. So, no. I mean, even if it was olden days, no, he's not a bell cow, but I don't think anybody should be.
Are you going to spend and I like that you answered it like this. Are you going to spend a first round pick on a running back that's only going to have like 15, let's say 16 touches for you?
Yeah. 16 touches is a lot.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. Because I'm thinking about a guy like
it's the most you ever get on the team, bro. In a game.
For sure. I'm thinking about a guy like what's my man's guy? Colts guy, Wisconsin guy, running back.
Jonathan Taylor, second round pick, by the way.
I'm thinking about Jonathan Taylor, right? Jonathan Taylor had a lot of carries, man. That dude had a lot of carries in Wisconsin. He came to the league, got a lot of carries, and he was a second round pick, right? And I think he's the type of guy that's going to get more carries than Jahmyr Gibbs gets. But I'm definitely taking Jahmyr Gibbs first round, though. I'm definitely taking Gibbs. Gibbs is a first round type dude because he's a weapon, right? And I don't think he's going to get as many opportunities as like say Charbonnet goes somewhere. I think Charbonnet probably gets more carries than Jahmyr Gibbs, but I'm definitely drafting Gibbs over Zach Charbonnet. Chat, do y'all think Jahmyr Gibbs is a bona fide first round pick? Will, what you think?
He's a first round talent, but he plays a position that doesn't value it. So, but this is a weird draft, right? Sure. Like this draft does not look. A lot of people say it's deep. It may be deep with like, I don't want to use the term middling, but with day 2 guys, but first round bona fide, this guy's going top 10, top 12, top 15. I feel like it's all over the place. It doesn't feel like, and I always go back to the 2021 with Micah and Chase and Pitts and Slater. Like you just knew, and Panay. So there was consensus with the top 12 to 15 dudes was. You weren't playing around with that. Now it's like, this isn't really that crazy of a draft in my opinion. Not saying they ain't good players, but his talent is probably better than a lot of these linemen. O'Cyrus Torrence, for example, right? Right, but Gibbs is a better player. Sure, but he plays a position that's not valued, right? So talent-wise, Gibbs is up there, but position value, maybe some teams are like, hey, a little dude, he's a running back, I'll get him in day 2, 3.
So, with the 2021 draft, right? Yeah. I always bring that up. Once you got past Darisaw, like, it's a wrap. You know what I'm saying? You just kind of like, all right, we pass him. The dude I like, it just kind of depends on where we go from here, right? This draft in particular, I've been saying this for some months, though, Will, still, is all the best dudes are where we drafting at. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you got to make a pick at pick number 9, I don't think you're going to feel as great. If you got to pick at 11, you may not feel as great. But we at 26, Will, still, I feel so good that somebody's going to be on the board that I like. Yeah. Somebody's going to be on the board that I like. It just depends on. Go ahead.
No, something's cut. You're cutting it.
It just depends on who's check.
No, you good. It's just weird choppiness happening. But we can hear you. It's just chopping you up.
My camera. Okay, cool. We're gonna let the cameras catch up. All right. To where we picking at 26 overall, we'll see all my favorite guys in that range. You know what I'm saying? And that's why this exercise is important, right? We just talked about him. Even guys like, DeJuan Jones being a guy, to where if you don't take him at 26, he ain't gonna make it to 58. How many times have we said that about a guy we like, Will? Still, hey man, if we don't take him at 26, they not gonna be at 58 or whatever. We say that about 12, 15, 18 or so guys or whatever. Yeah. There was actually some dialogue, Will. Still, I would love to hear your thoughts on this if you've seen it on social media. If not, I could take over. Have you seen the dialogue around Mazi on the internet? Mazi Smith?
We had dialogue about it. I mean, Mazi.
Of course, we have dialogue. We love Mazi. Yeah. But there's some people on the internet that Matt Owens, one of them here in the chat. There are some people on Twitter that do not like the idea of Mazi Smith at 26 overall.
Oh yeah. That's definitely prevalent. So that don't shock me though. Some people, again, positional value, right? They don't like that guy there.
They don't think he's good enough. It ain't even about him playing one tech. They don't think he's good enough to be 26 overall. Matt Owens.
Well, probably because of the position, I'd imagine. Because I imagine if he was taking at 58, nobody's complaining.
Yeah. But they just they just like they'll pull some film, like a handful of film of Mazi losing a couple reps. They be like, this shit guy at 26 overall, this your king. And I was just like, damn.
But we can poke holes in any player at 26. Watch.
Mm-hmm. Fair enough. Chat, is Mazi Smith a first round player to y'all? Is Mazi Smith a first round player to y'all? Jimmy Harney just dropped a deuce and says Siaki could D tackle from Baylor in a later round. He was a guy that people was talking about in the second round or whatever. I think Siaki one tech from Baylor. He's gonna be like a day 3 guy. I definitely seen his
he's
ass
a
fall.
one tech. Like a
That's
pure one tech. You know what I'm saying?
That's where they go. Just looking at some of this about Mazi being a first round guy. Voch ain't lying. You'd be surprised how many teams suck at draft. Somebody gonna be there at 26 facts. So we got yes, no, yes, hell yeah, why not? No, yeah, no. So it's kind of mixed up on Mazi there. That's interesting, right? I think Mazi is a guy that'll fit at 26 overall, but it also depends on the guy that's there. Let me cut my music down. Now, chat, I don't want to be one of these guys that's responsible for hype trends or whatever. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to be that guy.
Well, Voch, you are very respected in this
this
field, so be careful.
I don't want to be that dude, man. I just want everybody to do their own research, man.
Nah, Voch.
If anything, I just want people to come. I want people to come to me for affirmation. You know what I'm saying? After they've done their work, they'll be like, "Hey, I like this player. Let's see what Voch."
Nah, bro, they going to the barbershop. Yeah, my Bob Cousy said Mazi Smith is.
You know what I'm saying? But boy, I just keep going back to watch Will McDonald, man. I keep going back to watching Will.
Oh, we was talking about this in the Illuminati chat.
Mm-hmm.
Was it him? Oh no, that was Kalijah Kancey. That was Kancey.
There was talking about, and that's an interesting take too. I'm gonna let that was you that came up with
that was my hear me out. That was my hear me out segment within the chat.
I'll let you say it first on your show, then I'm gonna come back and react to you. But man, the more I watch Will McDonald, the more I get excited, and it makes me want to just go on social medias and go, "Hey man, y'all need to watch this cat. Hey, y'all need to watch this cat." And normally I make film sessions in order. Like I always start with some of the best guys and I always work my way down. Like Will McDonald may get a film session before, like Paris Campbell or something. You know what I'm saying? Like that's just how I feel about Will McDonald. And I'm putting him on my, if Cowboys draft him, I go, crazy list. That's like him and Jackson and Jigba and Nolan Smith on there so far. If any of those 3 dudes end up to Dallas, I'm losing it. Chat. Is Will McDonald a first round pick for y'all? I'm going to be doing a film session on him. I'm going to be doing Twitter threads on him. Volume's coming out with Twitter film sessions from me. I'm going to make one on Will McDonald for that. But man, Will Steele, I just think that dude is so good, man. I think he's so good. Now, what'll really make me go to jail, Will Steele, like with my own handcuffs, is if we get him at like 58 or something. You know what I'm saying? Like teams just suck so bad at drafting. Like he just slides somehow to 58 and we just snatch him up and pair him with whatever other good dude that we get at 26. But I like him so much, Will Steele. I like that dude so much. And I just believe in the player. I don't care what the draft Illuminati say about fucking Miles Murphy. I don't care what they say about like BJ Ojolari. I don't care nothing about what they say. Law Nation in the chat. Thanks for putting me on Will McDonald. He fired shit. Chat, is Will McDonald a first round pick for you? Go ahead, Will. So have you? Well, you say no. You haven't watched Will?
I haven't watched the ones you sent me, but I watched them. Yeah, just not the ones you sent that night. First round, money 5 position. He's got the talent.
Yeah.
I wasn't as impressed from a defensive end standpoint with this draft anyway. Mm-hmm. I'd rather have him over the kid that I do Tommy.
Northwestern.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yes. I like Will McDonald more than I like him. And I've seen him mocked in the first round a ton. So how can I not say Will McDonald is a first round guy?
Let's go to Tankathon real fast. Let me just cut my music back on. Let me just go to Tankathon real quick.
You know what I'm saying? Well, yeah, and then look, so if we're talking about teams who could take him, that's different. But we're just talking about the talent.
Currently, Will Steele. I like Will McDonald. Let's see what they got him at. They got him as the 36th player.
36?
Tankathon does.
So it's 32 teams. Man, yeah. I mean, somebody could take his ass.
Currently, I like Will McDonald more than Andre Carter, Army, Derek Hall, Edge, Keon White. Derek Hall from Auburn. Keon White from Georgia Tech, in which I seen somebody mock Keon White, Edge from Georgia Tech to the Cowboys at 26 before. I hated it. I think Will McDonald's way better than him. Isaiah Foskey, that we watched in the Patreon, that I was very confused on about as a player.
The Notre Dame kid.
His old film is much different than his current film. His current film, he's a defensive end. His old film, he is a linebacker, but not an edge linebacker. He's a Mike linebacker. Hold on. Because I'm a pro like Will Steele, hit my damn mute button on my roadcaster. I'm a pro like Will Steele, excuse me. Isaiah Foskey has some weird looking film, but I take Will McDonald over Foskey. Did I say BJ Ojulari already? In case I did,
you did not.
I take Will McDonald over him. Felix Uzoma from Kansas State. Love the player a bunch. Very violent player. He's another D-Law type character for you, Will Steele. I'm taking Will McDonald. Tommy where? From Northwestern, I'm taking Will Anderson over Ade. I'm taking a lot of these motherfuckers I named over Adetame, but whatever. Miles Murphy, I'm taking Will McDonald over goddamn Miles Murphy. Luke Van Ness, I'm taking Will McDonald over goddamn Luke Van Ness. I don't even think that high. Luke Van Ness don't even start. Nolan Smith. All right, I ain't even going that far.
Stop the cap.
I ain't going, yo, Will.
Not this time.
So that currently puts Will McDonald as a top 5 edge for me, relatively. Anderson, Wilson, Nolan, that's like 4 guys. Well, shit, I can't count. 1, 2, 3. That's 3 guys. I got a little time to figure this out, and nothing's guaranteed till the end of April. Nothing's guaranteed till I put the list out, chat. Nothing's guaranteed till I put the list out. But Will McDonald is a top 5 edge for me, Will Steele. Top 5 edge for me. That motherfucker at 26, man. Chat, what y'all think, man? Stop the cap. Nah, man, I wasn't finna put him over Nolan. Nolan was my first draft crush, dog, but Nolan just out my little dreams. Nah, he gone. Nolan gone, man. Man, our front office is such trash. Come on, Tom. What happened? What I missed?
I think this is this Terrence Steele stuff here.
What happened to him?
Nothing happened to him, but Jerry's opened up his pie hole. I don't know how real this is, though.
Professor O says Jerry said they view Steele as a swing tackle behind Tyron and Tyler.
In many words, not in those exact ones, but he calls Steele too valuable as a swing tackle tandem behind starters Tyler and Tyron.
You know what though? Chat, real talk though. Let me just be real with y'all. Jerry be up here saying shit, but in real life, the coaches and the you know what I'm saying, Will McClay and the scouts, they be like, "Hey man, don't listen to that bullshit, Jerry." You know what I'm saying? Like,
hey, Jerry's coming, y'all. Jerry's coming, y'all.
There are no real football people. There are no real football people that's putting Terrence Steele behind Tyron Smith. Ain't no way.
Look, if that is the case, they lose a ton of ground that they gain with the fan base, I think.
Yeah. But Jerry also was like, "Hey man, we're gonna find a way to keep Zeke in the."
Wait, he talked about that too.
Well, shit. At least we got something to talk about Wednesday.
He said the door is open, so I'm definitely gonna be talking about it tomorrow.
At least, we got something to talk about Wednesday, bro. But Chet, I hope I'm not out of bounds for saying this, right? I do think, Van Ness has been a little overrated as of late. Miles Murphy constantly falls down down these draft boards. So I don't think I'm out of line when I say that. Adetomiwa from Northwestern. I mean, come on, man. Then there's Felix, BJ Ojulari, Foskey. and Keon White as my next tier of those guys. Yeah, man. I think I got Will McDonald as a top 5 guy. I got Will McDonald as come on, Tom. Shit, man. God, shit, Tom. Come on, man. Come on, Toxic Tom. Change your name back to Toxic Tom, man.
Yeah.
It's fucked up, man. You can't say that. But yeah, so yeah, that's Will McDonald. I got him up there. Other players I have on my list, since Will still said Adetomiwa from Northwestern, he's not a first round player for me. I don't care if he's playing tackle, 1 tech, 4-eye, if he playing 2-eye, Aisha. I don't care if he's playing 5 standing. I don't care where y'all got him, man. He's not a first round guy to me. DeJuan Jones is a first round guy. Hendon Hooker. I made a tweet on Twitter. I was just watching a little bit of Hendon Hooker. And I think the only reason people still put Levis over him is because Draft Illuminati says so. And we've seen the arm talent. But, man, there's a different arm talent dude every single year, Will Steele. There's a different arm talent dude every single year. And, like, if you put this class of quarterbacks into next year's class of quarterbacks, Will Levis may be the 6th guy. Will Steele. He may be the 6th dude in that class, bro. Like that's just how much better those guys are than him. And I watched the top 3, though. Yeah, sure. The top 3 guys, right? CJ Stroud, Bryce Young, and Anthony Richardson, depending on if you think you can fix him. I think you can fix Anthony Richardson because I've seen people fix Josh Allen and Jalen Hurts, so I think you can fix Anthony Richardson. So of course, Will Levis is not as good as those guys. But then I stopped and I looked. And I was like, man, why we got Hendon Hooker at 4? And I understand the whole ACL thing. That's a thing, of course. And I understand you can poke holes in Hendon Hooker, like the system that he's in, or the fact that he's an older cat, or the fact that he's injured right now, or pocket presence may be a thing, or he may be an extension of a system. Hendon Hooker is a system guy, if you could say that. But my whole thing, I've grown as a talent evaluator. If you got a quarterback that you consider a system guy, if he's good in that system, it'll behoove you as offense coordinator to not bring that system to that player. Good quarterback play is so scarce. It's so scarce. And I think Jalen Hurts in a different system wouldn't be the same.
100%. System and coaching and what team they go to matters so much, probably more than any team. Than any position. The quarterback is the number 1 position. It matters, man, where you go.
Mm-hmm. We see guys like Bryce Young can probably do it wherever you want. CJ Stroud could do it wherever you want. But Anthony Richardson is a guy that's in a system that's asking him to do shit that he shouldn't be doing. He'd be a much better college player if he was asked to do different things, right? So I look at Hendon Hooker, man. I'm like, bro, if you a team that ain't got a quarterback, bring the system to him. Bring the system to him and let this dude fly. I don't care that he's 25 years old. On his second contract, he'll be 30. On his next contract, he'll be 30-something. Cool. Geno Smith just got a new contract. I don't give a fuck. You know what I mean? If you bad at quarterback, you no longer want to be bad at quarterback. So if you Tampa Bay, fuck else you gonna do? If you the Vikings, you trying to move on from Kirk Cousins, change the system. Who cares? Change the system, especially if you're not going to win the Super Bowl this year.
Shit.
If you a team, go ahead.
That system they got over there, I think, is quarterback friendly.
Sure. Vikings.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Get you a motherfucking Justin Jefferson. Get you a Hockenson. You know what I mean? They finna fuck around. Bring another.
You go in there with Justin Jefferson and Hockenson and Dalvin and Addison. Yeah, a lot of movement, play action. They get Jefferson. Like, man, I would love to go in the Minnesota situation.
Sure. I think a lot of teams get so caught up, and we've seen this before with wide receivers, Will Steele. Calvin Johnson came out. Everybody wanted a wide receiver just like Calvin Johnson. They're like, man, if he ain't 6'5" and can run routes and can do like Calvin Johnson, I don't want him. But what teams realize is that, hey, it ain't that many more.
No, Calvin Johnsons don't come out like that. What are we talking about?
You don't just keep getting these motherfuckers, right? Oh. And then you see that, you see these different coaches start to use wide receivers to their skill set. Julian Edelman and these guys like these Wes Welker type characters or whatever. Coaches that got them, that saw success with them, they had great quarterbacks, of course, but they made those dudes do what they was good at. They didn't ask those dudes to play jump ball with nobody. They ran routes, they caught the ball, they got first downs. That was their job, right? So we've seen the wide receiver thing kind of evolve a little bit to where, all right, we're not looking at Calvin Johnson. I can see a guy like Zay Flowers, who's a little bitty dude, but I know what he does the best. So when he comes in my offense, I'm gonna do what Zay Flowers is good at in my offense. I don't see why we can't do things like that with Hendon Hooker. I don't see what's stopping a team from taking that system or taking a system that's cool. Turn your tempo up. Turn your tempo up. Spread things out. Give them some easy reads because that's what they did with the old boy in Philly. You know what I'm saying? I seen it happen. So I'm not shitting on Hendon Hooker just because, you know, everybody else in draft Illuminati land wants to just go place Will Levis in the top. Because Will said, what we've been seeing in these mock drafts when we do it Thursdays, we see Will Levis keep falling a little back, and we see Hendon Hooker keep climbing a little up.
I saw somebody in the chat say they're not taking him because of his age. He played quarterback. Mm-hmm. You know, he plays quarterback. So, and he's not I know he's 24, 25 years old, but this ain't, what's the cat that went to Cleveland? The Cowboys had, he was about 29, 30 when he got drafted. Brandon Whedon.
Brandon Whedon was old.
Chris Winkie was old as hell too. Chris Winkie had grandkids when he got drafted by the Panthers.
Brandon Whedon had a thick ass mustache when they drafted him, boy. Like
and the Chris Whedon, I never gonna forget that. Or Chris Winkie, I'm sorry. Would never forget that. But yeah, Hendon Hooker played quarterback, 25. I mean, look, it's not ideal, but if you're taking a quarterback in the first round, you're looking at hopefully a decade anyway.
Because if he can play shit, it is what it is. Like I said, Geno Smith just got money.
Well, he's a quarterback. If exactly. We're talking running back, and he played 5 years in a college with, 1,200 carries or something crazy, no, I'm good. Bye.
Right. The last name I had on here was Darnell Washington or whatever, and I think Darnell Washington is going to be a polarizing figure when it comes to conversation about being a first round guy, because some people look at him as an extra offensive lineman. Some people look at him as hey, if I can fix, or just if I could take this athleticism that he has for it too. He runs a 4.6 at 270 something pounds or something.
Who's that?
260 something. Darnell Washington, tight end. Oh yeah, Georgia.
About 270, ran a 4.64. Yeah.
Like that's ridiculous. So somebody's gonna look at him and they're gonna go, "Hey man, I can take that athleticism and do something with it." You know what I mean? There's some people that looks at him like, "Oh, he's a blocking tight end. Why would I take a blocking tight end that high?" Chat, is Darnell Washington a first round pick for you? Will Steele, is Darnell Washington a first round pick for you?
I don't think he's a first round graded tight end for me. That's not a knock. It's not many I have.
Sure.
No.
Sure.
I don't. Again, I'm not tight end first round guy, so probably not the guy to ask.
Hey man, but boy, if you can get him at 50, if you can get him in the third round, boy, you have him a party then. You have him a party if you can get him in the third round. But
oh hell no, he's not dropping in the third. So somebody's gonna look at the athleticism, size, the upside, and they're gonna take him. Now, will they take him in the first round? I don't know.
Bruiser says we don't want Washington, Voch. We have Ferguson. I believe Kelsey. I believe he is Kelsey. He is gonna be special. I don't disagree. You must be missing shows. He missing shows. Who this is? Bruiser 242. You be missing shows, dog. You just showed your hand, man. Because we've had this conversation many times.
Yep.
We think that Darnell Washington is the only tight end in the top tight end conversation that wouldn't be a redundancy on this team, right? So I'm not a big fan on drafting Dalton Kincaid, 26 overall tight end from Utah, because I think we have a guy like Dalton Kincaid or Laporta or Mayer or Musgrave. I think we have tight ends like those. Darnell's not like those guys. Darnell is not like those tight ends we just named, and Darnell is nothing like Ferguson or Hendershot. So if you add Darnell Washington to this team, he'll be a part of a different three-headed tight end monster type of deal. You know what I mean? He'll be the guy that, hey, he's mostly going to be tight end 2 for you in most situations. But if you just find a way to put Darnell Washington next to Terrence Steele and just let them push people around in the run game, that'll be fun. Or then you just ask him to play under guy while Ferguson and Hendershot be more vertical guy, be more seamy guy. Sure. But Darnell Washington, I think the tight ends that you have, in my personal opinion, this ain't the Cowboys, what they're thinking. I think the tight ends that you have right now stop you from drafting a guy like Dalton Kincaid, in my personal opinion. But I don't think that the guys that you have right now are stopping you from drafting Darnell Washington. It just depends on what you get. All right, let's get into the phones.
The conference has been locked.
And Will Steele, we made it, man. How we do it?
Content Kings.
How we do it, bro? Somebody said Canuts is interesting. Yeah, man, he is. He's a good player.
That's another thing. I feel like it's a deeper class in the sense of I could find, a tight end 2 or 3, and some tight end 1s probably, because that's usually how it goes, right? You draft a tight end in the 3rd, 4th round, 2nd, 3rd, 4th round, and end up being a starting tight end. So I don't think you need to take one day one.
Let's get into the phones, man. Let's go. Shit, Joe was here first. Let's hear from Joe. What's up, Joe?
Hey, Voch, doing good. How are you doing?
Life good, man. I can't complain about nothing. What's good with you?
Some people will think about draft positional value.
Yeah.
Off-ball linebacker, because I know everybody has a certain context on drafting off-ball linebacker round 1.
Yep.
Specifically, Drew Sanders.
Sure. I tell you what, on that topic though, Joe, I agree that you shouldn't draft off-ball linebackers that high. The difference between those guys and Drew Sanders is that Drew Sanders had 9 sacks for you. You know what I'm saying? So when you draft Drew Sanders, he has upside to give you pass rush, which ups his value or whatnot. But these Sewells, these Overshones, these my man's from Clemson, the safety linebacker guy. Oh no, their ass is going day 2 somewhere. They going somewhere else. But Drew Sanders he separates himself from those guys because of his pass rush upside.
Possibly, to tell you the truth, some of these second round cornerbacks could be in that conversation as well, because you're talking about money 5.
Right.
Hendon Hooker, there's actually he's getting a lot of traction though. If he's going up and up on the mock draft.
Yeah.
Me, if he's going to be talked about, you might even get into the Washington's pick.
Right.
For today, Voch.
All right, cool. Appreciate you. Hey man, if the Washington football Wizards end up getting Hendon Hooker, man, I'm not gonna like it. I'm not gonna like it. I mean, we'll just end up beating the shit out,
Hendon Hooker, yeah.
I mean, we just go smoke the shot at him, but I like the Washington team believing in Sam Howell, you know what I'm saying? And then, oh my God, I just want Dak to get that lick back, dog. I just don't like how confident the Washington football people then got, because of that last game. Then I just don't like that. But
they confident from that?
They are.
Oh boy.
They are. Washington fans talking shit, and Washington fans are propping up Sam Howell because he won that game from.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Yeah, I know. I can't wait. Let's get Z the Ravens fan on the phone. What's up, Z? Y'all drafting Hendon Hooker? Shit.
I heard about this Lamar Jackson trade request about an hour ago after I got off my work shift, and it done caught me off guard. God damn.
Shit, me too.
So I wanted to get to talk about 2 points. One, if he's gonna get traded. So one thing that I was thinking about was, since he's trying to get a contract from another team, he already said he's willing to move on, and maybe this trade request is just a way for him to create more leverage. But he said he requested it on March 2nd, I think it was. I'm not sure. Yeah, he just got the non-exclusive tag a few weeks ago. So he requested a trade before he even got that tag. So I think he might actually want to leave Baltimore.
Yes.
Now that I think about it.
Yes. Before you go on about your draft analysis, brother, do you think he's a goner? Do you think that he should want to be a goner because of the way Baltimore's kind of treated him?
So the thing is, I remember you asked the first time I called. You said you wanted to ask the question: why hasn't Lamar Jackson gotten paid? The reason why is Steve Bisciotti. Actually, he's the only owner that is. It's been reported that many owners aren't happy. Steve Bisciotti is the only owner who publicly spoke out about it. He spoke to interviews and he said he didn't believe Deshaun Watson was supposed to be the first player that received a fully guaranteed contract.
He's speaking through water.
I believe it was inevitable, but he didn't think Deshaun Watson was deserving of it, especially considering his off-field allegations. So I think he's philosophically against giving fully guaranteed contracts. It's not that he doesn't want to pay Lamar. As far as I'm concerned, the last contract they offered him, it was the second best. They offered him 133 fully mil guaranteed. So the holding point between this, I figured it out. Adam Schefter, he leaked the contract that was offered to the Ravens a few weeks ago, and Deshaun Watson,
my calculation,
fully guaranteed. It's at 233 mil fully guaranteed. The Ravens offered him.
Hey, what's my say? Neymar on the phone.
Deal. Not sure what it is, but basically they offered him 250, 133 fully guaranteed. He wants it to be at least 230. He doesn't want the whole thing guaranteed, but he wants more fully guaranteed upfront than Deshaun Watson. And as long as the team gives that, I think he's willing to sign with them, and the Ravens just don't want to give 230 fully guaranteed. That's what's holding up this whole contract negotiation between him and the Ravens. If you guys want to ask any questions, go ahead. My bad. I'm talking too much.
Nah, man, we good. We good. We just wanted to
look at God.
We just wanted to fuck with you a little bit on
Cal
the whole.
Bundy said, I don't know what the fuck he's talking about. No, you on top of this shit like crazy,
Hey,
bro.
man, you own it, man. Somebody say you the agent.
You
Somebody-
on top of this shit like crazy. Hey, bro, real rap. You should make a video.
Yeah.
I guarantee you that shit go viral.
Oh yeah. But no, you just sound like you just there.
Put some that documentary music in the background.
Let us tell the jokes now.
Put the documentary music in the background. Boy, you go viral, nigga.
What team in the NFC do you guys think he might go to? I think he.
God, I hope it's not the Commanders.
NFC? Oh shit! Why?
Commanders. I'm gonna look for it. Commanders, Detroit, San Francisco, and the Falcons. I think those teams would all be playoff contenders. Their offenses would be. I think Lamar would be the best quarterback in the NFC if he got traded there. I know Dak stands, and probably a few Jalin Hyatt stands listening to this. So they would probably disagree that, but I would say he's top three, probably unarguably. I think if those teams were to get him, they would at least be playoff contenders. If San Francisco were to get him, I think they would be Super Bowl favorites. Thoughts?
I mean, I saw this tweet earlier, and they was talking about Indy. They said that if Indy don't get the quarterback that they like, that there'll be a team that'll be reaching out to try to get Lamar Jackson.
So right now, the non-exclusive tag, since the Ravens already placed it on him, Lamar could talk to all the teams and becomes if he comes to a contract agreement with another team, the Ravens, I'm assuming they're going to match it. And then if he really doesn't want to play for the Ravens, they could trade him afterwards. I'm not sure if they're allowed to do that. Because if you're losing Lamar Jackson for 2 first-round picks, he has to be fired.
That boy's Jurassic Park.
Out. You can't lose Lamar for 2 first-round picks. You have to match it. And then you can trade him if you're going to be trading him. If not, just match the contract and keep him. I don't care if he's happy. I don't know. But you can't lose Lamar for 2 first-round picks. That's the bottom. That's shit with me.
Boy, a bald eagle is tearing up that damn jackal in the background.
No. The chat tearing up this motherfucker.
I'm outside right now.
Right. Clearly, I hope you ain't in the house with that. Nigga, you either at the zoo or you in the Amazon somewhere, boy. Go ahead.
I wanted to get away from the road so that if you picked up my call, you wouldn't have to listen to traffic. But some dude decided to chop some wood over here.
Nah, we don't hear that. We hear a bird killing an animal over there is what we hear. That's what we hear. Some dying over there. But Z, good call, man. Appreciate you, bro.
Oh God, the comments.
Dog, that's why I said smudgy.
Yo, but the messed up thing is this motherfucker is on point.
He on point. He know everything. He got all the information. He talked to all the agents. He got Lamar Jackson phone, and he said, "Hey man, I'm about to call Vice Shorter, baby. What you want me to say?"
Did you read Toxic? Look at Toxic's comment, bro. I gotta show it. I gotta find a way to show it on screen. It's just if I was a mother, thoughts. It's a little run-on sentence.
Oh man.
Oh God. I'm getting lightheaded. Y'all crazy.
Oh man. Hey, but listen though, chat. I mean, Z, we love you, man. You know what I'm saying? We just having fun. I don't want nobody to be in the comments. Hey, yo, they was rude to Z and they laughed at his pet.
We already got one. Alex already got on this. Look. What's the boy's name? Z? That's his name.
Yeah.
So
Z.
Z been around. And like I said, the boy know what he talking about, okay? Yeah. All the stuff he was just saying, like real rap, if I talk to somebody at the barbershop or out and about, I'm going to be spitting what he talking about because he's close to the situation. But I don't mean he ain't get roasted in the chat, goddamn it.
Oh, yeah. I can't control that. I can't control what happens in the chat, man.
Shit.
Oh, somebody said Jumanji, boy. All right. He said, oh yeah, man, I'm just outside. You better be outside, bro. Oh shit.
Hey, real rap, bro. Is he in school to be a lawyer or something? He'd be a fantastic lawyer. He just confused the shit out of the prosecution. You know what? He got it.
So look, this is the problem. They want to offer Lamar Jackson this. I wouldn't take it. If it was me, I would ask for more money. Later on, Lamar Jackson's gonna be tweeting, "I'm asking for more money." You know what I mean?
I bet you he used to talk his way out of everything with his parents.
Of course he
did.
You
know what, Z? You're right. You could go to the party. Damn it.
DJ, what up, man?
What's up, dog? Oh man. Hey, he's the unregistered agent that called all those other teams, man.
I know, right? I talked to the Colts today, and they said,
according to my calculations.
Oh man, go ahead.
He receiving letters from the NFL.
Yeah.
Please stop calling us.
Please stop calling Z.
Please don't do that.
He the boy from Shawshank Redemption.
Yeah. Oh shit!
All right, I quit.
That's funny. Boy, I didn't know how we was gonna do this today, but shit, we making it work. Go ahead, DJ. What's happening, man?
Well, first and foremost, you know how y'all do it. But Bach, I don't think you give yourself enough credit. You single-handedly brought CeeDee Lamb here. You single-handedly brought Kelvin Joseph here. You notice how I spoke about the win before I spoke about the loss there. But
50%, boy.
More pool.
50% from three, man. That's a good, that's a good percentage.
But so, I mean, we don't see that, like, the way that you're looking at everything with Mazi and Will McDonald. Mm-hmm. We didn't hear, and maybe it's just timing on your part, but I didn't really hear much about Mazi until you were like, hey, Mazi can go at 26, and then all of a sudden he's in mock draft.
Mm.
Going at 26, going first round, things of that nature. I think that's personally a slight bit too high, but again, if you're willing to take him at 35 and not 26, you're overtaking it.
Right.
So I got two questions. Number one, is Nolan Smith more of a high-end prospect for the Cowboys versus other teams, considering his limited snap count at Georgia? Something that we don't think about because of the depth that we have at end, but other teams might, considering if they don't have the depth of talent and all that kind of stuff there. Is my first one. Thoughts?
I think so highly of Nolan Smith. I think he can go anywhere and be great. But I think any player with Dan Quinn is just different. It's just different with Dan Quinn because I just know that Dan Quinn has a plan. I know that Dan Quinn likes that type of player. And most importantly, I've seen Dan Quinn take dudes that nobody else wants a couple times. I've seen him take those dudes and make them like quality starters in the league when nobody else wanted them. You know what I'm saying? So you mean to tell me?
Definitely.
Well, sure. So so when Nolan Smith gets to, if he's not gonna be there, but if he gets to Dallas, oh my goodness, Dan Quinn got something for Nolan Smith, bro. Oh, he got something for Nolan Smith, man. Come on, man.
For sure.
Go ahead.
Well, everything is at cornerback too, but for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, maybe he just kept that what he did in the playoffs. Maybe he was just keeping that in his back pocket, but he just kept throwing body to quarterback too. Right. But and then my last thing, and I'll let you go. Has the front office, as far as drafting, considering that's what they do, have they earned the Dan Quinn all right, cool treatment? Whatever they do so much. I mean, it's been a while since they've had a true miss early. You could say what you want about the mid and late rounds and things of that nature, but early on, the top of the draft has been more than solid outside of the Kelvin Joseph situation. Mm-hmm. Have they earned the all right, cool treatment that Dan Quinn gets?
Man, I don't think they're gonna talk back to Dan Quinn, bro. Like if I don't think it's a coincidence that when Dan needs something, he just kind of end up with it. You know what I mean? And this is just what we've heard from some of our media friends. This most of this is like common sense, really. Like, hey, Dan Quinn would love to have XYZ player to help with the run game, and we just snap our fingers and just Hankins just kind of show up. You know what I'm saying? So, and there's and there's many more examples of that. I don't know, bro. I just think Dan has the green light to kind of get what he wants. Like one draft, we just got like 10 dudes on a defense. Well, like eight out of 11 dudes was just defense. Nashawn Wright didn't really work out like in that way or whatever. But hey, man, if Dan asked for him, Dan's gonna get his guy. So I do think that Dan got a little pull in that room. I don't know if Kellen had that pull. I wouldn't say that he did, but I think Dan has earned the respect in that room to where he could take a guy like Izzy or a guy like JK or a guy like Carlos, guys like that, and go, hey, I need this, boom, 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 and they'll go, all right, Dan, we're gonna get that for you to make this defense top tier. So shit, I wouldn't hate it.
Well, I agree with you there, but what I was more asking is as far as Will McClay in the front office getting the same kind of trick, how you said, Dan Quinn, all right, cool, whatever you want to do, all right, cool, because everything's worked up to this point. Should the Will McClay and the scout team in the front office, who they draft, should we give them that treatment as well?
You're basically saying, should we give them grace in the first round based off of their resume? I say yes.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. We don't miss much in the first round.
Yeah.
Cowboy fans bother the shit out of me. They constantly bringing up Taco, but Taco was the outlier here. But
can't bat 1,000.
Yeah. I mean, him and like what, Claiborne or something, Morris Claiborne. Besides that, Cowboys been hitting in the first round, so I ain't got a problem with that.
But Clay been handling the draft since I believe 2014, and his resume speaks for itself early in the round.
Yeah.
So I'm with you, DJ. Whatever they decide to do, I'm just gonna sit back and let it fester out. Let it not fester, but let it marinate, and then we'll see what happens in the day 2 and 3 of the draft, because that's really where they gotta. Well, the way they used to operate, that's really where they have to hit, because they don't go out and sign all these dudes or trade for all these dudes, although they're doing it now, but they didn't. So it's day 2 and 3 where we're like, we need to hit more home runs, because day 1 they seem to always hit a home run.
Fair enough. That's all I got for y'all today, man. I appreciate it.
I appreciate you, DJ. Salute. Yeah, man. I have no complaints about how the Cowboys run their first round boards. Second round, we could talk. Third round, we could have a small conversation, but at the end of the day, it's third round. But first round, you wouldn't get no conversation out of me. You wouldn't. No back talk out about you. Let's get these last two. And let's boogie. Rewatch the tape, Voch, and apply to our team. Rewatch what tape?
Who said that?
Chandra Johnson says rewatch.
She told me the same thing last week. Watch the tape. I was like, oh, who? You talking about?
Oh, who? What tape I'm watching?
But it was Darnell Washington, so I'm wondering if she's talking about Darnell. I don't know.
I don't know. We've been talking about Darnell Washington in context of what he would look like with Dallas.
Darnell Washington. That's what she's talking about. We've had this conversation. I don't know how many times about Darnell.
Yeah, for sure. I said it on this show. He'll be a guy that complements the other two tight ends. He'll be a guy that is going to be on a lot of blocking duty, of course. And I don't see him being a guy that'll work as vertical as the other two. He'll be a tight end 2 when he's on the field for us. So there we go. 469. What's up? Who this?
What's up with it? We doing good.
Who? I can barely hear you, brother. I can barely. Hello? I can barely hear you.
You can hear me?
Barely.
Yeah, I heard you.
Of course you can hear me, but I can barely hear you though.
Hold on 1 second.
Here we go.
Hello?
There you go. What's good, brother?
So I got 2 questions for you.
Okay.
Indeed.
What y'all think about running back out of Minnesota, the Mo Ibrahim?
Yeah, I like Mo.
A lot of carries.
Like we missed out on running back in like first 3 rounds. We want to go like 5th round, 6th round.
Sure.
I think he can.
Day 3, I like it. But at that point, what is he going to bring you different than like Malik Davis or something? You know what I'm saying? That's
Yeah, I feel you on
you know what I mean. That's kind of what I'm
I don't
asking.
know.
But,
See, I
okay,
feel
I'll
like
let
he
you
might
finish.
be a little bit better than Malik Davis, in my opinion.
He could be. He could be.
I remember it was like I think it was like around Christmas. It was around one of the holiday games, like Christmas or Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
That same week, what's his name? The Texas running back, Robinson. The same week he went to like 260, 230 or something. He went to 260.
Yeah. Yeah. I like the player though. Yeah. I like the player. Not a bad guy. It's just that, and then we signed Ronald Jones, and he'll kind of be a guy that's kind of going to be in that role with him also. Does he beat Ronald Jones out? So if I'm looking at a guy, I'm looking at like complimentary dudes to what Tony does, or dudes that are complimentary to Tony in a way that's not what Malik Davis does, or not what Ronald Jones does. That makes sense?
Yeah, I feel it.
Yeah.
The other question, it was just
okay, please.
We 26, and McDonald projected 36. I was gonna see if you think about us trade down.
Yeah. Trading down, like trading back to the 30s.
Yeah, like trade back a couple picks.
Okay.
But like probably like one of the early second round picks.
Yeah.
But I don't think about that. You'll lose that 5th year option. But if we could trade back and get an extra like 3rd or second round pick and get McDonald on top of that,
so this is my whole thing about trading back, right? Is you have to have a partner willing to do that. I don't think a lot of teams trade back. I just think other teams trade up. You see what I'm saying? So it's hard for the Cowboys to get on the phone. Okay, please.
And it's gonna be somebody up there that I feel like a fall that somebody that try to go up and want to get.
Yeah. So it's gonna be hard for the Cowboys to be like, hey, I don't want to draft here. Somebody to give me more picks to draft here. You see what I'm saying? Somebody's gonna have to see our pick at 26, and they're gonna be like, hey, I want that pick because I want this player. So it's harder to talk about trade backs, but it's easier to talk about trade ups. You know what
I mean? Yeah, I feel you.
Appreciate you though, man. Good call.
Salute.
All right.
Will said, what was you gonna say?
So what I was gonna say was
go ahead.
Was before they got Ronald Jones, I was with you, and I still am in a way, but I was with you on I need a complimentary. Like, what is our complimentary piece? I think they did a good job getting kind of that tough nose, hard running running back to complement TP to the point where I think they're free to take any type of back that they want to take anywhere within the draft. Look, I'm cool if they wait to day 3. I think it's those type of dudes still there that can help you out in day 3. They did their due diligence by complimenting Malik Davis and Tony Pollard with Ronald Jones. Now, if they want to go get a Ronald Jones type, they can do that to push him off the roster. If they want to get Malik Davis type, they can do it. If they want to get a Chain Spears type, they can do it. And you can also take in the fact that TP might not be here after 2023. So I don't think any style of running back is off the board just yet for them.
Sure. My only thing about type of running back when we talk about them is are they going to be better than the dudes here already? You see what I'm saying? So Ibrahim would have to be competing with Malik, or you know what I'm saying, kind of like that or whatever. So I also wonder where like Rico Dowdle fits in all this, because he got re-signed, didn't
he? Yeah, if it was up to me, Rico Dowdle is still that camp guy. You need like 4. I think you need 5 bodies in camp. Sure. You need 5 running backs. Right now, the Cowboys have 4. So whoever they bring in is going to be competing for Malik Davis if it's after day 1 and 2. Sure. If it's day 1 or 2, they competing with Tony Pollard. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? They compete with getting touches from Tony Pollard. They competing with getting touches from if they don't go big back Ronald Jones, excuse me. So I do think it depends where they go. Day 3, Malik Davis they're competing with. Anything before that, I think we're having a different discussion, right?
I'm going to ask you 2 questions, Will, still. These are draft questions, of course.
Okay.
And I also need you to keep in mind the context that teams suck at drafting, okay? Do you think by any chance that after Bijan Robinson, the next running back to go is not Jahmyr Gibbs?
Nah,
Like, is there a chance?
man.
Like, is there a chance that like Charbonnet goes?
I was just thinking in my head. I'm like, what running
back?
back? I'm thinking Charbonnet.
It ain't gonna be A-Chain or like Taj.
I don't see
so
A-Chain or Spears.
It got to be Tank or like Charbonnet or something.
I don't even see it. Gotta be Gibbs. In 2023, what he presents, this team sucked. You're right.
Yeah.
Right, look, I'm no draft guru. I'm no GM.
Mm-hmm.
I just look and I see a dude that's better than the other dude. I don't know how you don't take him. You know what I'm saying? I think Gibbs is better.
I think somebody's gonna look at Gibbs and be like, yeah, I love Gibbs. But I think I want a running back that's gonna be more like running in between the tackles. I mean,
get him in day 3.
I agree. But teams trash at this, Wilson. I swear. That's one thing. Also, do you think that in any world that Jahmyr Gibbs makes it to 58? I don't think so. But do you think?
If we're saying he's a second back, no. He'd have to be like what, the 4th?
Sure.
Off the board.
Sure. What I need is a big push between 27 and 57. What I need is a big push on those corners, those leftover like wide receivers are just here and there, some of those edges, some of those D-line guys. I need a big push in there to really bump Gibbs down a little bit. Because also, too, I wonder, Will Steele, we always talk about this. When there's an abundance somewhere, teams tend to let guys fall because they'll go, oh, I'll just get a guy later. Or I'm not going to draft a cornerback here because there are many great cornerbacks in the second round. If Jahmyr makes it out of round 1, what's the likelihood that a team will go, hey, man, I like Gibbs, but boy, I see similar value in a guy like A-Chain or Tajay in the 4th round. I'm going to just skip Gibbs and get my running back in the 4th round. I'm trying to get Gibbs to Cowboys in the 2nd round.
Yeah, that's what you're trying to do. But
that's what I'm trying to do.
Yeah, I can't see that happening because he's some people have him first, but he's either the first or second best running back in this draft, and usually you don't see them slide to 58. Like 57 teams are going to have to, not teams, but get passed over 57 times. In a league that values, the dual threat ability to be able to run it and catch, I just think Gibbs gives you that at a high level. Probably, if not just as good as Bijan Robinson, then right below it.
All right. Let's get back to the phones, man. See what they're talking about. This is the last one for the day. They're going to wrap up the show. Let's see. 806. What's up? Who this?
Hey, this is 90405.
That's your area code?
Can you hear me?
Yeah. Go ahead, my guy. Okay, you say 9045 is who this is?
9405.
Oh, okay. I got you. All right, my guy. What you got for the show?
Okay. So I know it's a little off topic, but I think we should reward DQ with defense first for sticking around.
Okay. That's fair. DQ definitely could have gone to go get. Okay, please. Please, my bad. Let you finish. Yeah, man. DQ definitely could have got a head coaching job somewhere, but I don't know if that was in the contract agreement or whatever. I do think that DQ is going to be the head coach one day if anything goes wrong with Mike McCarthy. But promising him draft I guess rights or whatever, first rights to draft picks or whatever. I don't know, man. Right. I don't know. It sounds good, but I think ultimately Will McClay has a conversation with Dan and he figures out what Dan likes. And I do think that Dan can go to Will like, hey, yo, Will, man, hold me down if McDonald gets there. Like, hey, if this happens, hey, yo, Will, hold me down. And ultimately it is Will's decision. I don't believe that none of this is on Jerry and Steve because Jerry a billionaire. His ass don't watch film. So I do think ultimately Will gets the last decision, but he does get the input from everybody.
Right. And he likes to draft offensive linemen in the first two rounds typically.
If it makes sense, sure.
Yeah. And then you have DQ and you have McCarthy that run off of linebackers.
Yeah.
You look at their history, AJ Hawk, Clay Matthews, KJ Wright, Wagner. It all kind of adds up to me. But somebody with Parsons.
Yeah.
Or let Parsons float like he has been.
Yeah. It depends. If there's going to be a guy to be that this year, it'll be Drew Sanders. But It depends. There's a lot of guys that we would take at 26. We just don't know who's gonna be there when we get there. So it could be Drew, but if there's a better dude than Drew there, it may not be Drew. All right, my guy. Appreciate you. Good call, man. Salute. Good call. Appreciate you.
So as you were talking, Voch.
Yes, sir.
I wanted to go back and see how many of these backs, went. My bad. I didn't mean to press that, but how many of these backs went? What are we? 50? What are Cowboys? 58.
58. Yeah.
58. How many backs were selected prior to that?
Okay.
It's close. You can get some guys that fall in the 40s and the 30s and in the early 50s, so it's close. But usually the top two backs are going prior to 50. The 1 year where it got the closest to the 50s, if I could find it here, I believe was 2020. DeAndre Swift went 35. Jonathan Taylor went 41. That was actually 40, so that was in the 40s. And last year, obviously, the running back that was selected in the first was Breece Hall, and then Kenneth Walker went 41. So most of them are getting taken prior to 58. And a couple years ago, you had like 4 backs taken in the top 35. Nick Chubb, Sony Michel, Rashad Penny, Saquon Barkley. 2018, Ronald Jones, Kerryon Johnson went 38 and 43. So usually, historically speaking, the top 2 backs are going to go before 58.
I don't think trading back is an option. It takes 2 people to want to trade back.
Yeah.
You think the Cowboys trade up, though?
In this draft? In the second round, you mean, or first round?
Trade up into the second round.
So they're at 58, so trade up.
To the 40s or something. So like
if I'm not mistaken, were they trying to trade up for Trayvon Moehrig, or was it the Raiders who just jumped him?
They was trying to get Moehrig, but the Raiders jumped him, yeah.
That is a round they got active before.
Mm-hmm.
DeMarcus Lawrence.
D-Law was a guy.
Yeah. But before a back, I don't know.
Yeah, and that took the second and third round pick to get to that high second to go get D-Law. My thing too, though, Will, I think this team has covered its bases with the trades.
Yes.
This team covered its base with the trade. So you in much less of an emergency to where, okay, I need a third round pick that's going to play for me this year.
Talk to me.
I'll give up that third to go get Gibbs.
Look, I've been in this camp for years, Voch. I've been trying to trade some of these picks to go up and get my guy or go get a proven veteran. And you are definitely right. I think the Cowboys covered their bases with one of the major positions in need, cornerback, wide receiver, to where they can take some. The beauty of this draft, and we're talking Cowboys now, is that I don't think they're going to be relying on the totality of this draft to carry this team. I felt like they were doing that the last 3 drafts. They're not going to rely on. They're going to rely on probably maybe 2 of these dudes. Seriously.
So you know what we're going to do with still. We're going to talk about this shit all day Wednesday. I think it's worth talking about, though. For real.
Yeah.
I definitely think it's worth talking about. Because, hey, it ain't like, okay, we got to get a corner. We got to get a man, look, we're going to get a D lineman on day 3. We probably got to get a guard somewhere, maybe. But that could be 4th round, maybe. We got a guard on the team already, but they talking about moving, fucking around with Terrence Steele and shit. But I'll give up that third to go get Gibbs, man. But we'll do this. Chat. That is called what is called a teaser. Till next time. Put y'all ass on a cliffhanger. I mean, we're gonna do that shit. We're gonna do that Wednesday. Today Monday. Yeah. We're gonna do draft tomorrow. What we doing tomorrow? Will still. I don't even know if this is gonna be a thing, but I pulled up a list while I was waiting on my smoothie at the dojo. I pulled 10 colleges, and I pulled players that was drafted from that college for the past 5 years. I want to see, is it effective to scout the helmet? That was your idea.
Yeah, we had that. That was a fantastic conversation. You kind of opened my eyes to it, because when we hear scout the helmet, if sounds like a negative connotation, right? But then you're like, wait, Iowa, tight ends. And then you start talking about wide receivers, Ohio State. Maybe I should be scouting these goddamn helmets when it comes to these specific positions. So, yeah.
Sure. So we're going to talk about that tomorrow. We'll get into trading up next time. Let's get into supers. I need that sound drop from Future. We working on
Super chat.
There we go. We're going to do that. Volume. Let's see. We good on volume. I appreciate y'all. I love y'all to pieces, man. We good over there. On the Voch side, which I know is something on the Voch side because I saw y'all coming through. Today the 27th. Right. You always got to check the date, Will. Still, you never know.
I do the same thing, bro.
Yeah, check the date. We read Jimmy. Appreciate you, Jimmy. You know what? The Round Table got some super chats, and I don't want to lead them out. So let's read some of them, Will. It's 4:30. We still early. Dro Knows dropped a dub in the super chat. Let me maximize this window. Dro Knows dropped lost him. Dub in the super chat. He says, "What's good, Cowboy Nation? Just want to show love. When black men work together, outstanding things can happen." You got that right, boy. Appreciate you, my guy. We don't wipe these 304s. What's up, Chris? He dropped a deuce and says, Sky, you wanted me to ask slot or X receiver. Chris from We Don't Wipe Them 304s asked you that.
Oh yeah, we had a conversation on Friday's show, and then I said bring it to the round table, but I forget what the actual question was because that's not really a question.
It was probably if wide receiver was a conversation that we have at 26, are we open to drafting a slot or a X receiver with the adding of Brandon Cooks? Well, that's probably what it was. But never know. L dropped a 5 during the round table. Appreciate you, L. He said, salute to the Kangs, not the Kings, the Kangs. Round table over everything. Hashtag Studio 2023. Appreciate you, sir. Now, Will Steele. The live round table from the studio?
Oh, my. You know what's crazy about the round table? I was saying this, we'll say this at the beginning of the show. We always leave out some juicy topics.
Yeah, of course.
Because we can't get to everything.
That was 2 hours.
But if it's a live round table, I ain't leaving out nothing.
Yeah. And we're going to repurpose them clips. We go
like Club Shay Shay up in there. We
yeah, but go
15 5-minute clips.
Yeah, I'm saying I was gonna say 40, but let's do it. All right, Vlad TV type shit.
Yep.
Let's see. Appreciate you, L. Rush Merc 9 drop 5. It says, what about Jaden Reed, wide receiver? Jalin Darden, wide receiver, North Texas. That's from last year, huh? Jalin Darden. They trading Jalin Darden already? It's terrible. Appreciate you, Rush Merc. Toxic Tom. Pardon me. This is Shaq the Vikes fan. Toxic 4-8 check down. I know y'all sick of Kirk. He says, one war call for the amazing Cowboys content creators, Mapoho Lion Coalition. The real question is, which one is Kinky Tail? Damn. You had to be in my Twitch to understand the reference, or you just got to be hip to the Lion Coalition, the most violent Lion Coalition that took over most of the Cyber Sands in Africa. Kinky Tail is definitely Okoye. Okoye is loyal. Okoye a gangster. Okoye gonna ride with us. Okoye gonna shoot for us first and ask questions later, whether we right or wrong. And if we get into the fight, 9 times out of 10, we'll still Okoye gonna die first. Okoye gonna die first because he gonna be the ones that's on the front line. So, yeah. To that reference, if I had to make the comparison, Shaq,
Okoye slide for sure.
Okoye's Kinky Tail, man. R.I.P. Kinky Tail. KC podcast from the closet. He dropped 2 deuces. What if BPA in the second round is a quarterback? I say do it. Negative. I think the only quarterback that you had that conversation about is like Hendon Hooker. We just talked about him being the first round guy, so I don't think.
Yeah, that's about it. Other than that, negative.
Yeah. Don't need cornerback 2 if second round pick Boss Man did his job. Right? Sure. But hey, we got cornerback 2, Stephen Gilmore. Hey. It's gonna be hard to beat that motherfucker.
I brought that up this morning. Like we're in the position we are to get Gilmore and Cooks because of the failures of Nashon Wright. I hate to call Jalen Tolbert a failure, but they relied on him. It didn't work, and the failures of Kelvin Joseph.
Yep. What I'm saying, Kyle, Mr. T was the asshole. He was the one that tried to take over the coalition for himself. Got smoked by Makulu, so he had to sit down. Makulu's definitely Law Nation. Got smoked by Makulu. He left to go on his own and ran back to his brothers when the shit got thick. So that's definitely Mr. T. But I don't know which one was Mr. T. Probably Foots or something. Probably Foot. All right, appreciate y'all. Behind the Lines drop 5. It says, what do y'all think about Kelvin Joseph moving to free safety? I think he has the speed and he hits.
We've been hearing that for this is going on 3rd season.
Since he's been drafted,
yeah. We good at safety.
Yeah.
If he can't muster it up to get better at corner, then just move on.
This is last year for sure. This is last year.
Go get a safety.
Yeah. Kenny Lott dropped a dime and says, Koye, my first pick would be Mazi. If Quentin Johnston, Jordan Addison, Jalin Hyatt are there at 26, I'm picking wide receiver. Okay. I think that's a lot of people too. I think Mazi is a fantastic pick for 26, but it depends on who's there. But I just think somebody's going to be there that's going to make us like that player more than Mazi. So I don't disagree at all. The Lunatic dropped to 5. We don't see Lunatic very much, so shouts out to him. Round table bring you out. He dropped to 5 and says at 26, Cowboys draft Minnesota center John Michael Smith, plays left guard and moves to center after Tyler Biadasz moves on. Dallas Cowboys for life. Pito Pinche Cowboys. I agree. I love me some John Michael Smith. That's the conversation. John Michael Smith versus a guy like Will McDonald.
Bro,
that's the conversation.
We low key. I don't know if it was on the round table or not, but we were like, hey, John Michael Smith might have some of the most underrated value.
Yes.
So underrated. What he, the position flex. We talk about tackle guard, but that guard to center if Tyler's gone is, whew. That's 26 worthy, bro.
That's major. Yeah. We'll see. Now, if John Michael Smith can make it to 50. There's a lot of dudes in that range, though, Will, still that I would love to have. I would love to have John Michael. I would love to have, like, Steve Avila. I would love to have Jahmyr Gibbs. I would love to have one of those wide receivers that fall. Like, it's a lot of dudes in that range. But I don't know. Sean Birch dropped to 5. He says draft O-line or BPA. Then I think we should move up in the second and get Mazi or Avila. So we're going to talk about that Wednesday, moving up. Appreciate you. Jimmy Harney dropped the deuce. We read that earlier. Appreciate you, sir. Elliot 970. I think that's who it was that called. Appreciate you, Elliot. He dropped the deuce just for the love. Salute. Justin Garashka. He dropped the 5 and says, what about running back from TCU? Which one? Okay, Miller. In the later rounds. Miller. I like Kendre Miller also. I like him also. Fun player. Like once you get into the later rounds, you can get them dudes wherever you want to. You can take them in the 5th, 6th round if you want to. And look, I wouldn't rule out the Cowboys like finding some undrafted guy to bring in or something. I wouldn't rule it out for the Cowboys to bring him in and just let them fight in the camp. But just because you don't get Jahmyr Gibbs in the 2nd round, don't mean that you overdraft other running backs. You get them where they go. Appreciate you though, Jimmy. Justin dropped another 5 and said, since we missed out on Bobby Wagner, should we take a linebacker in the 1st? We don't have to take a linebacker in the 1st, but on the Cowboys, they're going to take a linebacker somewhere, but it's okay. Appreciate you, Justin. Brandon Vegas dropped a 5 and says McDonald versus Broderick Jones versus Anton Harrison versus John Michaels.
Jeez. Fatal four-way?
So look, this is your question. If all these players are there at pick 26, which one do you take? Will McDonald, Broderick Jones, Anton Harrison, John Michael Smith, Steve Avila, Collegiate.
God damn.
I know, right? He ain't give us no grace on that. Broderick may be the best player on this list. It'll be Broderick or McDonald for me. Yeah, Broderick Jones or Will McDonald. I think Anton is behind Broderick for me. John Michael Smith is a good player, but when we talk about tackles, he kind of gets pushed down the line a little bit. I think Smith is better than Avila. Mazi's down the list. Collegiate Kansas, some people love him more than me, but if it's up to me, it's either Broderick or Will McDonald. Elimination Chamber. Shouts out to Marcus. Jimmy Harney dropped a deuce. We're almost done. He says a mock draft has us taking Luke Van Ness in the 1st round. Nah, son.
I got an idea better than that if you're going to take a strong side defense in first.
You going to talk about that on your show tomorrow?
What's tomorrow? I think me and Foot's talking about tackles, so probably not. We can talk about it tomorrow, though, or Wednesday, whatever.
We'll save it. No problem. We'll say that. Stretch this content out. Appreciate you. Izania Cabret dropped the deuce and says, all good. I know it's all. Oh, okay. That's Z. Okay, cool, Z. All good. I know it's all fun and games with Z, by the way. Hey, man. Yo, Z, we love that, bro. Z, we love that, bro. Z knows a big ass pterodactyl in his background. What you want us to do? Just ignore it? Just ignore it? We love you, Z. Keep calling back, man. Sources say Nitro Ninja dropped the 5 and says the Raiders pick Miles Murphy. Boy, that's a Raider ass pick, boy. The Raiders pick Miles Murphy. The Patriots take Van Ness. Definitely. The Raiders love taking guys that they can get in the second. The Patriots love guys like Van Ness. Hey, you ain't lying. You ain't lying. I think that's a real thing. Alex says Van Ness is way better at 26 than 10. Yeah, sure. That makes sense. Yeah. It might be some other guys I like better at 26 on the board, but Van Ness not a bad player. I don't want to look at Luke Van Ness like he's a bad player. But when we talk about dudes that's on the board for us, chat, let's just play along. Luke Van Ness or Will McDonald, Luke Van Ness or Quentin Johnston, Luke Van Ness or Drew Sanders, Luke Van Ness or Cam Smith, Luke Van Ness or Dalton Kincaid, Luke Van Ness or Bijan Robinson. Like, I like Luke Van Ness. I'm just not about to overdraft him for nobody, So
yeah, I have a terrible bias, and shout out to Will McClay for actually talking about how you have to reevaluate your biases. 100%. And I got a bias when it comes to strong side tweener types. It's really hard for me to get past it. But look, that doesn't mean I don't think the kid's a good kid. I think he's going to be a good player depending where he goes. But better than X, Y, Z, that's a whole different story. If I'm gonna have an edge, I like my edge to be a pure pass guy or be a strong side guy, and that's what you do.
I used to hate power rushers. Like when I was first starting, 2016, I was a young evaluator. I used to hate power rushers because I didn't understand them. Right? I just didn't understand like how you win with power and how that translates to the next level. What we end up seeing is that a lot of power guys are also technique guys. You know what I mean? So when you see those guys win with power, they most likely set those power exchanges up. They set it up with like hand fighting and techniques and things like that. But if you're just gonna move on to the next level, just being a power guy, you got to be an otherworldly strong character for that to make like it.
JJ Watt,
one of them characters. Yeah. You got to be the strongest man on earth. So just me when I'm evaluating edge guys, if you're a power guy, you got to be technique guy also, because quick, speedy, bendy guys translates better. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Then I'm just gonna show up stronger than some grown man that's 29. That what I mean? It's just different. Just what I'm saying, a little different.
You gotta have such a specific plan for him, and it is what it is. So that's my biases. I'm learning them. I'm trying to grow from them. And shout out to Will McClay because he made me realize, you know what? Understand your biases and adapt.
That's a great quote. Marcus Rowe dropped a dime. So Voch, Making and McDonald are there. Let me take a look at this keyboard. K ain't nowhere near Z, so I don't know if that's Mazi or not. So let's just read it. Making, it says probably Mazi. Let's just assume Mazi and McDonald are there at 26. You take, so this one says Madi. Now Z is right next to D. So you take McDonald over Mazi. I think an elite defensive tackle might be harder to get than an elite edge. Well, that's
it's false. No way.
What did he say?
Okay, so let me just read this back to you. So Voch, Mazi and Mazi Smith from Michigan and Will McDonald from Iowa State are there at 26. You taking McDonald over Mazi? ? I think an elite defensive tackle might be harder to get than an elite edge player. So what he's saying is he's thinking about taking Mazi over Will McDonald because he thinks he can find an elite edge player easier than he can find an elite defensive tackle. Elite defensive tackle is so scarce for him. So
I think they both are tough, right? I mean, it's a fine. Talking about elite. He didn't say good.
He didn't say good. Yeah. And Mazi not he's I wouldn't call him elite, by the way, but we'll go ahead.
Right. Well, yeah, but I'm guessing that's what he thinks he's projecting to be.
Mm-hmm.
Do we have to start treating interior disruptors just as impactful as the edge guys? We listed those name of guys, right? Last week.
Mm-hmm.
You look at the Super Bowl, the last like 4 or 5. They've had elite interior guys. But they don't get the love.
Mm-hmm.
But they're starting to get the bread.
I tell you why, Will Steele. And this goes back to what we talked about last week. We can't just say defensive tackles. If he's talking about 3 techs, I agree. If he's talking about like these 3 tech under tackle guys, these, you know what I mean, Chris Jones type guys, these Aaron Donald guys, yes, I agree. Mazi a 1 tech that played 3 sometimes. And that's a little different.
Yeah.
And I think elite 3 tech is just like offensive tackle. If you're gonna get them, you gotta lose a lot of games. You gotta get them dudes early. Besides that, you're gonna have a dude with some type of deficiency.
Yeah.
The problem with that is we just talking about Mazi right now. I can find a lot of defensive tackles that can do Mazi's job. Maybe not as good as Mazi. They may not be as athletic as Mazi, but I can find a lot of defensive tackles that can do Mazi's job. How many people come close to being able to do like a true elite? He said elite. So how many people can do Micah Parsons' job? Not a lot of dudes, man. And I understand edge dudes come out every year, but how many edge dudes really live up to that hype? You know what I'm saying? So now we have Micah. Who was that top tier edge dude prior to him? Was it like Chase Young or something? Maybe.
I think 2019 was Chase, wasn't it?
Something like that.
2020,
not
2020. 2020.
You want to have that conversation about Chase Young? We can talk about Chase Young. But then if you go before Chase Young, like who was that guy? I don't know, man. I think the way this question is formatted, it's as if Mazi and Will McDonald are elite. And I don't think that. I don't think that's the case. But if you do ask, do I take the elite defensive tackle over the elite edge guy? No. I'm just going to live in this world where it's hard to find an elite ass defensive tackle guy. But I'm taking the elite edge guy because, A, you may get a lot of edge guys that can play, but that don't mean every team got one. You know what I'm saying? And if you're going to be a contender for real, like every team up there got one. For real. And if we're talking about elite defensive tackles, we're talking about 3 techs. We ain't talking about 1 techs. Will, does Quinn Williams move? Does he move the needle for an entire defense the way that a Jeffrey Simmons does?
Probably Quinn Williams of last year.
I think that's an interesting question, by the way.
I think Quinn last year put himself in that, that tier, but that's only 1 year. Jeffrey been doing it for a few years now, right?
Yeah.
I think Quinn deserves that respect.
Who's more impactful, Daron Payne or Chris Jones?
Chris Jones.
Yeah. And then who's another top tier like 1 tech?
Vita Vea.
Aaron Donald versus pick a guy. You know
Vita
Vea. So I'm picking Aaron Donald over. I'm picking Aaron Donald, Chris Jones, and Jeffrey Simmons over Vita Vea every time.
Vita Vea he's a freak though. Vita Vea can get you 5 to 7 sacks though. As a 1 tech. But yeah. I mean, 3 tech is because pass rush is more respected.
Sure.
Right. Like pass rush is money 5. As you know, so if you're a defensive tackle that can do some of the money 5 things, you're going to be looked at in that manner. But I'm just saying interior in general, because if you are an elite 1 tech, I still think that holds immense value, like a Vita Vea. And I know that's just one guy. Daron Payne playing next to a Jonathan Allen, that tandem is nasty. Now there ain't too many dudes that can do that, but interior, whether it's pressure, whether it's power pressure, whether it's quickness, I think we got to start giving a little bit more respect.
How about this? Let's not say Micah, right? Because Micah on some God tier defender shit, right? So let's put, and I understand this hard, Will, still, because I hate when people ask me to do it too. Chat, this is mostly for y'all. Let's put Jalen Carter in the Chase Young draft. I know it's hard to do this, but do you take Chase Young coming out of Ohio State or do you take Jalen Carter coming out of Georgia? And that's where I think you have your answer is. Because I do think Jalen Carter is the better player. Like, I'm just looking at the talent or whatever. I do think Jalen Carter is the better, and that's just my own opinion. Y'all ain't got to believe that. I think Jalen Carter is the better pure player. And in that situation, I don't think Chase Young being an edge will stop me from taking. No. Yes, Chase Young being an edge will stop me from taking Jalen Carter first, if that makes sense.
So that's your answer, right? Jalen Carter.
Yeah.
If we think Jalen Carter is that guy, I am taking a disruptor in the interior. I am. I feel like he can help out the edge rusher more than the edge rusher is going to help out the interior guy. And that's crazy because we just said that edge rusher is probably the more valuable. But that's why I'm having this conversation with you. That's why I think these dudes need to start getting that credit, because I personally think they actually help the other guys more than the exterior guys help the interior guys.
Yeah. So I think at this point, Will, still you have to look at the players equally. Maybe we should. Maybe maybe we should look at 3-tech as a part of the money 5 if the talent.
Yeah, and there's only there ain't 20 of them.
No. You know what
I'm saying? There's only that solid, probably like 7, 8. Yeah. So I'm not saying that it is caught up to edge.
Sure.
It hasn't caught. Well, we can probably name 15 dynamic defensive ends, right? That have had Pro Bowl top tier seasons of speed rushers, specific type of guys. You probably can't name 15 elite interior guys, like elite 3-techs. Yeah.
That's a fantastic conversation. Because at the end of the day, I just think Will McDonald is a better player than Mazi. So I'm taking Will McDonald here. But I'm taking Jalen over Chase Young for sure. But then if it came to Jalen Carter versus like a Myles Garrett or something, I'll take Myles Garrett over Jalen Carter in a very close fight. And it's a good conversation, man.
Fun conversation,
yeah. But I might bring that to. That's too many words put on Twitter, man. Fuck it. Appreciate you, Marcus Rowe. That was fantastic.
Shit, you got a whole half a show out of us on that.
Damn, man, we should have read this shit earlier, man.
You should see. We should have said was pause. We'll take that question on tomorrow's show.
Taiwan dropped the 5. He just wanted to shout out to us, man. Salute to you, man. Holding us down. Appreciate you. Night 405 says, thanks for taking my call. Hey, appreciate you, man. Thank you so much. And thank you for taking these jokes and just not, you know what I mean? Not feeling away. Appreciate you. We love that. And Brian Lee, the last one, he dropped the deuce and says, you think Jerry will move up for Bijan? Shit, he better not. I love me some Bijan Robinson, but I ain't trading up for him. Voch, don't you believe, though, that an elite 1-tech adds value not just for the pass rush, but they provide not just for the pass rush that they provide, but also provide value for the edges that because the quarterback can't step up into the pocket. I just think you just value the edge in that situation, but I don't know. We'll talk about it Wednesday. We'll talk about it tomorrow. Whatever. How about we do this? Will, what positions are more valuable? We might power rank position value. We might do that.
Oh, because we keep talking about it, right? Throughout these whole mock drafts and whatnot, but nobody's really ranked them.
There you go. We might do that. We're gonna power rank. Well, we got topics for the week, boy. Power rank positions. We're going to what else I said?
Position value.
Scout the helmet. We can do that on Cowboy Day. And we got a mock draft. Shit, that's the rest of the week. All right, let's do this. That's the rest of the week. We good. We good. All right, let's get it. Hear ye. Wipers. Let's see. I just had him. Shit. Wait, I know he can copy and paste a few. Here we go. Marcus Hardison says, at the volume, that's me and Will Steele today.
Yes, sir.
By the way, here. At the volume, embrace your duality. Hold on. I can tell what he do. Embrace your duality. Comfort it with a serene brutality. Appreciate it with a jittery poise. Grip it with a vapid. I can't. I'm from Natchez. Grip it with a vapid vitality. Hold on, let me read this.
He pulled up the thesaurus on us today.
Yeah, I'm from Natchez. Hold on, here we go. Shucks. Embrace your duality. Comfort it with serene brutality. Like, don't let nobody get you off of your, you know what I'm saying, off of your square. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Bars.
Appreciate it with a jittery poise. Grip it with a vapid vitality. With your life.
The jittery poise is a hell of an oxymoron right there.
Come on, man. Come on, man. I fight like that. All right, that's fantastic. That's fantastic. No copy and paste. I stream from my phone and my computer.
Beast.
Hey, man. Better than me, Marcus Hart. Appreciate you, my guy. Hey, this was a fantastic show, man. Fantastic show. We did not expect it to be this way, but it is what it is. We are making a return to twitch.tv tonight, so y'all be sure tap in with that. I don't know what we playing, but y'all be sure to be there. We're gonna do a little bit of reaction. We're gonna do some. We might play some PS3, man. I got a cool little emulator, man. We might do a little something on that. So that's twitch.tv/Voch Lombardi. Y'all follow me on Twitter at Voch Lombardi, also VOCHLOMBARDI. And Patreon. We'll be back to Patreon tomorrow. So patreon.com/Voch Lombardi. Y'all come over there and tap in with us. We're doing fantastic work over there, man. And y'all might want to hurry up and get there before draft season is over, because when draft season is over, we go straight into Cowboy season. So it is what it is. Tamara says, let's play Destiny 2.
Hey, man. All right. I ain't ready for no Twitch. I just got back on Apex and get my ass whooped.
Hey, man, we'll still, it's not for us no more.
No.
Back in the day, like, we had these shooters, bro. All you had to do was be better than the dudes at your neighborhood. If anybody could pull up at your house, you could shoot better than them, you the man. Now you got to shoot versus the best shooters in the world. I don't even play Call of Duty no more. I
don't play Call of Duty no more.
Call of Duty ain't fun.
I'll play Call of Duty and do the story mode. I was like, what you doing the story mode?
I get no value when I buy Call of Duty, because after I beat the campaign, I am finished. I don't want to play no more.
Look, let me just tell you, the last time I played Call of Duty is when they had the little alien dip, and you could do the or not the alien, the zombies. Oh man, the zombies was fun as hell. That's the last time I really got into it.
Yeah, it was a while ago, Will Steele, but it is what it is.
Last time I've been into it.
Y'all follow my guy at Skywalker Steele, Skywalker STEELE on his Twitter, and you can catch him on A to Z Dallas on YouTube from 8:30 to 10 o'clock. Appreciate you, sir. Hey, man, y'all hold down for the dose of Walls and Piece of Whiskey until we see y'all tomorrow with a new topic that we just pulled out our ass, man. Pause. Boy. I said pause.
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained?
They lying. Getting cussed out by kids and shit.
You work for the volume, that shit.